This learning module, Origins of Modern Astronomy, discusses the material in the first two subsections of Section 3.1. The learning goals are to understand naked eye astronomy, describe apparent planetary motion, describe some ancient astronomy, and explain the progression of astronomy from ancient Greece to Copernican revolution. Now I'm going to go through some naked eye astronomy, what you can see in the sky during the day. Standing on the Earth does look flat to us. What we observe is the Earth's horizon. We can see that there are bright moving objects in the sky we call the sun or sol. Since we have no sense of our own motion, we assume that the sun is moving in ancient times. There are times when the sun seems to rise and set. We call this day, and we aren't really sure where the sun goes at night. But at night, it's not completely dark. There is a large object in the sky we call the moon or luna. The shape of the moon seems to change. We call these phases. We also notice that the moon seems to change in size. At night, there are points of light. Those are stars. If the night is dark, we see thousands of stars. The darker the sky, the more spectacular the view. There seems to be a point in the sky that all the stars rotate around. This image shows a camera image, but the motion is easily discernible with the naked eye. There is a star close to the center. It's called the North Star Polaris. We see comets or guest stars. We can see shooting stars and meteors. We see zodiacal light. This is a faint glow seen before sunrise or after sunset. You need very dark skies to see it. In addition to the sun and moon, there are 5 other bright objects in the nighttime sky with respect to the stars, and sometimes you see them during the day. These 5 wanderers are called Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. These are our naked eye planets. There are some stars that don't seem to keep the same position in the sky. We call these planets, which means wanderers. Here's Venus. Venus is sometimes seen as a morning star and sometimes as an evening star. Venus, of course, is one of the inner planets, Mercury and Venus, so they're always going to be closer to the sun along the ecliptic. Here's the planet Mars, Venus together, and Jupiter, Saturn, all the planets move with respect to the background stars. Mercury is always close to the sun. It's very hard to see through most of the year. Sometimes you'll see it advertised as a greatest elongation. That's when you can most conveniently see it. Venus is sometimes the brightest of all planets, brighter than the stars, and it's also never that far away from the sun. Mars is a bright red color. It's seen opposite the sun on occasion. Jupiter is bright, but not as bright as Venus. It moves slowly with respect to the stars. Saturn is yellowish, and it moves the slowest. Mercury got its name from the winged messenger of the gods. He was also the god of thievery, commerce, and travel. Most likely, this planet got its name from the rate at which it moves in the sky. Venus was a Roman goddess of love, so it seemed fitting for that bright, shining planet. The only objects in our solar system brighter than Venus are the sun and the moon. Ancient civilizations thought that Venus was 2 different objects, the morning star and the evening star. And in this module, we'll learn about some of the ancient civilizations that recognized that Venus was the same, whether it's the morning or evening star. Other civilizations have associated this planet with love. The Babylonians called the planet Ishtar after their goddess of womanhood and love. Mars is named after the Roman god of war, and the planet got this name by its blood red color. Other civilizations also named planets for its red color. Jupiter was the Roman king of gods. Considering that it's the largest planet in the solar system, it makes sense that it would be named after the most important god. Saturn was named after the Roman god of agriculture and harvest. While the planet may have gotten its name from its golden color, like a field of wheat, it also had to do with its position in the sky. According to mythology, the god Saturn stole the position of the king of the gods from his father Uranus. The throne was then stolen later by Jupiter. The Earth is the only planet not named after a Roman god or goddess, but it is associated with the goddess Terra Mater, which is a Greek Gaia god. In mythology, she was the first goddess on Earth and the mother of Uranus. The name of Earth comes from the Old English or Germanic, and it is derived from Earth, which means Erta, which means ground. Other civilizations all over the world also developed terms for our planet. So the days of the week are coming from these bright celestial bodies in the sky. Sunday is sun's day, Monday is the moon's day, Tuesday was after the Norse god for Mars, Wednesday was the Germanic god for Mercury, Thursday is for Jupiter, Friday was for Venus, and Saturday was after the Roman god Saturn. So sometimes we get the goddess, but our name for it is coming from Anglo-Saxon or Germanic words, but they're all deriving from something deeper and older. An important thing to know for naked eye astronomy and ancient astronomy is that at times the planets exhibit irregular motion compared to the sun and the moon. This is called retrograde motion. So we'd see, with respect to the background stars, the moon always moving from the west to the east. So we'd start to expect that for the planets. But what we see instead is the planets moving with respect to the background and going back and forth. Not making sense. So the motion of the planets doesn't seem to be consistent. Occasionally they reverse direction in the sky. This is called retrograde motion. Mercury is seen as a morning star west of the rising sun. Mercury occasionally crosses or transits the sun. The motion is east to west, of course. So Venus and Mercury are always pretty close to the sun. So when the sun's below the horizon, that's when you'll see them. So either right after sunset or right before sunrise, but along the ecliptic path and near the horizon is where you'll see those two. Venus occasionally transits the sun as well, but not as frequently. This was the Venus transit of 2012. And here's the Venus transit of 2004. In summary, this has been a very brief introduction to naked eye astronomy, but it provides a basis for learning some things from archaeoastronomers. Archaeoastronomy is the investigation of astronomical knowledge of prehistoric cultures, and this learning module will take us on a journey through time from the origins of mankind to understand our development of astronomy through the Copernican revolution.